The opinions expressed here are those of the students and do not necessarily reflect the positions of Tyler Junior College.
Coming up on the Drumbeat, a look at this year's Arbor Day celebrations. And later, an off-campus ministry opens its doors to TJC students. The Drumbeat starts right now.
Broadcasting live from Studio 1108 in Jenkins Hall on the campus of Tyler Junior College. This is the Drumbeat, bringing you the latest from students like us.
Thank you for joining us today on the Drumbeat. I'm Santiago Nunez. TJC students gathered to plant new trees on campus at this year's Arbor Day celebration on February 10th. Lee Myers brings us the story.
Volunteers gathered at TJC campus on February 10th to help plant new trees for Arbor Day. Though previously delayed due to harsh weather conditions, the event persisted with over 200 volunteers in attendance, including Mayor of Tyler, Don Warren, who kicked off the event.
The city of Tyler, just in the Parks Department alone and on some of our streets, we lost 300 trees and another 100 that had gone across the roads.
Many student organizations were represented among the helpers, and after a quick demonstration from Daniel Duncombe of Texas A&M Forest Service, volunteers separated into groups and got to work.
TJC is a good place, and I just love to be part of helping the community and all that around here and stuff.
The event succeeded in planting 65 new trees to help replace many of the trees lost in previous semesters due to extreme weather events. I'm Lee Myers at thedrumbeat.com.
Several events were held earlier this month to celebrate International Darwin Day in commemoration of the scientist Charles Darwin. TJC STEM Club brought a theatrical take on one of these events and dressed as their favorite scientist.
And so by doing that, it kind of reduces.
And George Washington Carver is portrayed by students Rex Beard and Harold Jackson and Jenna Cove. The STEM Club duo would inform passerby about the two historical figures and their scientific accomplishments. The display offered a closer look at various specimens with further information on the topic of evolution and information on STEM Club.
Make it fun, make it entertaining, I think a lot of people think of science, right, as this very intellectual, super serious thing, but it can be fun, it can be engaging.
Faculty from TJC's very own art department have recently had a collection of their work featured in a prominent art magazine. The magazine is called Glass Tire and is the oldest online art magazine in the country. Editors from Glass Tire chose the state's top 5 art events each week, and TJC's exhibit, Seeing as Believing, made the cut. TJC art professor Chance Dunlap says that the work is a reflection of quality and dedication to aesthetic that the art faculty embrace. St. John Paul II Catholic Campus Ministries is an off-campus location that offers fellowship to students of Catholic faith from both the TJC campus and UT Tyler. Barbara Martin-Morrow brings us more.
A Catholic campus ministry is reaching out to students at TJC and UT Tyler through weekly activities. Father Nicholas Napier, chaplain at the center, says the ministry is meant to help students grow in love and knowledge of Christ.
So our mission is to go into both campuses, both TJC and UT Tyler, and bring as many students as we possibly can to know the love of Christ.
All students attending the center have the opportunity to practice actively and learn about the Catholic faith. Jason Spitz, TJC's sophomore, is the officer of liturgy and attends regularly the ministry.
What gives you fulfillment is if you're truly living for the other.
Viviana Perez, UT Tyler Jr. and frequent member of the ministry, says her level of commitment to her faith has grown.
Adoration has one of the things that I really enjoyed too, because I can actually sit here in the chapel and pretty much pray and have that connection with God, and it's really peaceful, and I can do my rosaries, and it almost feels like you're in heaven.
There is also time for hanging out with friends. Father Napier says all are welcome.
If you have found that you are longing and looking for something greater, then come to us, because I think we can help you find that. Because what you are longing for is not anything that this world can give.
For more information about St. John Paul II Campus Ministry, visit tylercatholic.org.
Coming up after the break, Garrison Nichols talks with the Director of Theater Facilities, Ethan Beam, about the latest TJC theater production, The Glencairn Sea Plays.
Este proceso yo creo que no lo hubiese terminado sin la ayuda de mi mamá y de mi hermana.
Cuando nos venimos de Honduras, Jenny estaba estudiando y llegó aquí también con esa ilusión de seguir adelante.
Trató de estudiar, no la aceptaron porque había pasado la edad que requería para entrar a la high school. Se dedicó a trabajar y tuvo a su bebé.
de repente miré un flyer donde decía termine su high school y en letras grandes español. Dije yo, ¿será posible? Fui, me inscribí a la escuela y al llegar al salón y mirar la ayuda que los maestros le dan a los alumnos, dije yo, definitivamente, hoy sí terminaré mi meta.
Yo estoy muy orgullosa porque sí luchó por sacar su diploma.
Los sacrificios que mi mamá ha hecho ha valido la pena y me motiva más a mí a querer ser como mi mamá es. La educación es muy importante y estoy haciendo un futuro mejor para mi hijo.
Encuentra clases gratis para adultos cerca de ti en completatudiploma.org.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego. I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome back to the Drumbeat. I'm Garrison Nichols. I would like to welcome Ethan Beam, the director of TJC Theater Facilities, who is also one of the directors for the Glencairn Sea Plays. The performance begins tonight in the Gene Brown Theater and will run through the day, or Saturday. Welcome, Ethan.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me.
All right. So let's see here. Can you tell us what audiences can expect when they come to see the Glencairn Sea Plays?
They can expect, I think, an interesting night of theater, which is normally different from what we normally do. You already kind of alluded to it, but we're doing a series of 3 one-act plays instead of just one play. So I guess it's kind of like the equivalent of like what's your favorite TV show right now?
Psych.
Psych. So say like Psych, you like watch 3 episodes of Psych in a night. It's basically like that, but written by a guy in 1915. So it's a lot like TV in that way, but live, I guess.
What do you hope the student actors can get out of working on this production?
Well, I hope that they can see. So one really interesting thing about the shows is that they have some like recurring characters. So sometimes it's like they'll be the same character, but in a completely different situation. Sometimes the setting of the plays might be a year later. Maybe it's on the same ship, or maybe it's on land. And so I hope what they gather is that, thinking about a character can be unique in that you can think about them over a long period of time and in different circumstances than in just the play that they're in that moment.
So what is it like working on such a unique production for TJC Theater?
It's been really interesting. I think it's cool because I don't know the last time that they did anything like this, where we have 3 different directors for one play, or one night of plays, I should say. So it's been really cool to work with Dr. Crawford and Jacob Davis, who are the other directors for the plays. And it's been interesting to kind of trade off with them, see their vision for their own show versus mine, and then kind of like work with them to hone each of our plays. It's been really cool for me personally, and I think for the kids as well who are acting in them, it's been interesting to see all of our different directing styles.
So if students are interested in being involved in TJC Theater, or the theater productions, where could they go to get more information?
Oh, yeah. So you can just come by JBT in the Wise Cultural Arts Center. We have, auditions 2 times a semester. So anyone can audition as long as you're a TJC student, or if you're a TJC faculty member, you can audition as well. And so you can audition, or if we're already working on productions, you can just come by any afternoon, probably around 3 o'clock, and talk to any of the professors there or the head of the department, Laura Smith. and we can get you working on something. We're just happy to help anyone who's interested, and especially if they're willing to help us.
That leads me to the next question. What is it like working on such a unique production for TJC Theater?
Well, I think what's been really interesting too is having the different setting that we're doing. Like you're on a ship for two of our plays. Two of the three plays are on a ship. So it's like, how do you conquer like pretending to be at sea? You don't want people like rocking back and forth the whole time or whatever, but you want it to be believable that the hardships that these types of people experienced are authentic to whatever we're working on. So I think in that way, I think just the plays themselves have been interesting to conquer as well.
So when and where can students watch the Glencairn C plays?
They can watch them starting tonight at 7:30 is when they start. So if you get there around 7 o'clock, if you have a TJC ID, you can get in for free. And they go through Saturday at 7:30. There's two shows on Saturday though, one at 2:30 and one at 7:30. And if you just come by the box office, if like I said, if you bring your ID, you can get in for free, and you can enjoy the show.
Sounds good. Coming up after the break, an interview with Imanique Liggins, a TDC student who is an active volunteer in community justice projects in East Texas and beyond. Thank you so much for coming, Ethan.
Thanks for having me.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school.
Jessica has been through a lot in her life from early childhood.
My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She came in looking to complete her diploma. She had a family she had to take care of. Anytime she needed help, we provided her help. She realized that we were here for her.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
My graduation, it was something I will never forget. I couldn't explain the emotion I was feeling because people like you and me sometimes may have doubts in yourself, but I feel that everything's possible.
Jessica's future is brighter than ever.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Kids!
I don't want to talk about it.
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 Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency.
Kids, you all right?
This family's prepared. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan. Go to nyc.gov/readyny or call 311 for more information.
Welcome back to the Drumbeat. I'm here with Imanique Liggins, a TDC student who is an active social justice volunteer. She was a featured speaker at last year's Texas CASA conference, and she participated in the 2022 March from Selma to Montgomery, Georgia. And she currently serves as a senior ambassador for the Momentum Advisory Collective, an organization that provides internships and training to the youth impacted by the justice system. Welcome, Imanique.
Thank you for having me.
So you work with the Momentum Advisory Collective. Can you tell us a little bit about that organization?
Of course. So Momentum Advisory Collective, it's a nonprofit that is corresponded with Cafe Momentum. Cafe Momentum is a 12-month paid internship for youth that's been incarcerated. With Momentum Advisory Collective, I travel around 2 different cities trying to expand the restaurant. Right now, we're opening up in 5 different locations.
Okay. So as a senior ambassador with the organization, can you tell us a little about the role you play for the Momentum Advisory Collective?
Of course. So during those times that I do travel to the cities, I tell people about this program that I participated in, Cafe Momentum. It isn't just a restaurant. It's a restaurant that help youth that are coming out of the juvenile system get a job, be able to get a stable check, and able to go back to school. Most of these youth that exit the juvenile system have a big gap within their education. So with Momentum Advisory Collective, I go to these cities telling other people who are providers or even servicers, and those servicers are sometimes players, football players. We work along with other organizations like Stand Together, foundations, and other nonprofits that help youth who are in underserved communities.
So in addition to the Momentum Advisory Collective, I understand you've been involved with some other social justice events. Can you tell us about some of your experiences in that?
Of course. Last year, March of 2022, I led a march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama with Black Voters Matters. In this march, I was able to learn so much knowledge about voters matters, basically, about what is like, who are actually the statistics of the youth who actually do not vote, which means like if you're 18, you're able to vote, and a lot of people do not register to vote. So with that march, I was able to get a message out to my social media page, which has a lot of young adults that are transitioning to adulthood that have not registered to vote.
What inspired you to get involved with social justice work?
Of course. For the past 2 years, I have been serving as a leader, not just on campus, but also in my community. I learned my purpose through all the things that I've been through. I knew that I didn't go through them for nothing. I found my passion into helping people and informing people, inspiring them, and impacting them. That was really big to me when I got feedback from people, other college students, and just people in general about how inspiring I am to them. I just knew that, okay, this could be my calling. This what highlights my spirit. This is what gets me active. So getting involved with this, knowing that I am helping not only just myself get right, but I'm also helping others.
So you involve yourself in a lot of social causes. If a student at TJC was interested in participating in social justice in their community, what advice would you give to them?
The advice that I would give them is that I actually have a page called Sister Evolve. It isn't just for sisters. Sister Evolve is a community where I give out resources, not just resources as far as what I've participated in, but also other resources that I have came across that could be beneficial to other people. For college students, I would love for them to, express that inside of the website, where I actually have a talk to me link where they could comment and say whatever they need help with. With this, it goes straight back to me, and I'm able to reply to them and give them the resources if I have them, or if I know someone else that's able to help them with this.
Thank you for joining us today. Looks like that's all I have. Coming up after the break, this week's episode of Drumbeat on the Street.
On the street, I will be asking TJC students.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September. I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs. And that's still not enough to put food on the table. I am a 16-year-old boy who just got my first job to help feed my little sisters. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew they were hungry.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. To go back to school.
It's been so give our child the life that we kind of pictured us having, even though we didn't really have that.
I've been in foster care my whole life.
He's so strong to just be able to like leave that all behind and still be able to take care of his daughter and be a good husband.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone.
We've been through so much in our life, and he never used that as an excuse, but as motivation to do better.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to the Drumbeat. Here's one last story. On this week's episode of Drumbeat on the Street, I asked TJC students if they are stressed.
Good afternoon. My name is Santiago Nunez. On this week's episode of Drumbeat on the Street, I will be asking TJC students whether or not they are stressed. Why or why not?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty stressed. Well, I am 28 years old and I'm a computer science major, and I'm hoping to get into the world of computer science, do some programming, but there's a lot of obstacles that have been kind of in my way from just life in general. Anything from being a veteran to coming back home to Texas and kind of relocating myself into a small town.
Well, at the moment, actually, I'm pretty chill. Just got done with the math test, so I'm sure there'll be some tests coming up in the future. But at the moment, pretty relaxed for the back. So yeah.
Not why? I'm happy. I like TJC, and I'm studying what I want to study. So that's why. Yeah.
I'm not stressed. I'm just going through the phase called life. It's ups and downs, but I'm not stressed. I'm gonna get through it.
Remember, you can always find the latest news at thedrumbeat.com, and we'll see you on our next broadcast on March 8th.